everyone, it's Maki. Do you like underwater mobile suits? It's a classification of mobile suits that appeared in abundance even in the original Gundam. Today, I'm going to introduce an underwater mobile suit that appears in Gundam Seed. Please take a look at this mobile suit. It is called GOOhN. Its name is somewhat similar to GOOhN, which is equipped on the Providence Gundam, isn't it? Unfortunately, the two are unrelated. GOOhN is an amphibious mobile suit developed by the Zaf forces for their invasion of Earth. It somewhat resembles a squid and has a cute appearance, doesn't it? However, GOOhN is a mobile suit with very formidable capabilities. In this session, I would like to thoroughly analyze the abilities of GOOhN. The war between the Earth Alliance forces and the Zaf forces took a turn nobody had anticipated. The Earth Alliance, supposedly superior to Zaf in terms of resources and manpower, found themselves struggling against Zaf's new weapon, the mobile suits against Zaf's skin. The Earth Alliance's main weapon, the mobile armor Mobius, was analyzed to have only 1/3 to 1/5 of the combat power. Still, the fact remained that they could hold their ground if they fought with 3 to 5 times the troops. Soon, Zaf would execute a large-scale operation against Zaf. This series of operations aimed at securing military bases on Earth and subduing the Earth Alliance's terrestrial facilities were called Operation Yarrows. As part of this operation, mobile suits designed for activities on Earth were revealed to the world naturally. This announcement also reached the enemy, the Earth Alliance forces. The GOOhN would reveal itself as a death sentence to the enemy. Military actions in the seas, which cover 70% of the Earth's surface, are extremely crucial. Zaf researched underwater environments and the ecology of aquatic creatures. Applying these studies to new mobile suit development, they designed shapes and armor efficacies that could withstand water pressure and achieve high-speed navigation. They also applied the function of the ampullae of Lorenzini, a part used by sharks to sense their surroundings underwater, to the mobile suits. Zaf first produced underwater mobile suits based on the Zin. These machines are called Zinwas and Zinfemas. The GOOhN was completed based on these models. The Zinfemas in particular had a strong influence on the GOOhN, and this model is classified not as a Zin type, but as a GOOhN type. It is often also referred to as the proto-GOOhN. The completed GOOhN exhibited astonishing performance. Its high-speed movement mode, where the limbs are folded, enabled incredible speed in the army. It easily dodged a bazooka shot fired at close range by the Strike Gundam. The weapons it was equipped with were also heavily armed with destructive power compared to conventional submarines. The overwhelming speed advantage and versatility of mobile suits against conventional weapons posed a significant threat to the Earth Alliance forces. Earth Alliance submarines were easily destroyed. Coastal bases were destroyed by GOOhN attacks, and maritime supply routes were cut off. If Baku was the king of the land, then GOOhN was indeed the king of the seas. The pirate of GOOhN, who attacked the Archangel, voiced his confidence in the suit's capabilities, saying nothing can beat GOOhN underwater. At the time GOOhN was developed, the Earth Alliance forces did not possess mobile suits. Therefore, GOOhN was designed with combat against conventional submarines and battleships in mind. As a result, it lacked melee combat capabilities and other anti-mobile suit combat abilities. When the Earth Alliance forces deployed their mobile suits, which became a weakness. To overcome this weakness, a successor was developed, which replaced the seldom used fingers with claws for melee attacks. This successor other was the Zono. With the completion of Zono, GOOhN was supposed to retire and pass the baton to the next generation. However, that was overwhelmingly resourceful compared to the Earth Alliance, and GOOhN continued to be operated in actual combat for a long time. In the era of Sea Destiny Sagri, there were scenes where it fought against the Abyss Gundam. The role of GOOhN reflected the reality that Zaft was so resource-deprived that the mobile suit, which was designed for combat against old-fashioned submarines and battleships, had to face off against the most advanced mobile suit of the time. Let's review the armaments of the GOOhN. Despite its cute appearance, it is indeed loaded with deadly firepower. First up, we have the 533mm Insta-7 tube torpedo launchers. These weapons are equipped one on each arm. Surface warships and submarines are significantly impacted by damage resulting in flooding. The fact that the GOOhN, equipped with a total of 14 torpedo tubes, can move at speeds exceeding that of submarines is truly astonishing. Additionally, these torpedoes are propelled not by screws, but by rockets. This allows for launching not only underwater, but also in the air, enabling attacks on ground forces. The GOOhN, with its cruising speed and this astonishingly versatile weapon, inflicted serious damage on the Earth Alliance's naval forces in the animated TV series. There are scenes where warships are causing huge explosions upon being hit by a barrage of torpedoes from the GOOhN. Next is the Gundam laser cannon. This is a sonic weapon usable underwater, equipped on the chest. It is often depicted as a beam weapon when featured in games, but it's a different kind of attack, using sound waves compared to the beam weapons equipped on Gundams. The Gundam laser itself is invisible, but lasers used for angle confirmation and targeting are emitted simultaneously. The green light emitted when the GOOhN uses this weapon is from this targeting laser. Additionally, some materials state when used underwater, the water undergoes ionization and emits light. The green light is a depiction of the water glowing due to ionization. The Gundam laser has the characteristic of not attenuating much underwater. In fact, it functions more effectively underwater than the beam rifle does. In Gundam Sea Destiny, there is a scene where the Forbidden Vortex is destroyed by the Zono's Gundam laser cannon. This unit is a redesign of the Forbidden Gundam for underwater combat, and its armor applies trans-phase armor derived from phase shift armor. Considering this destructive power, it is understandable that the GOOhN was a very powerful weapon upon its introduction to actual combat. Then, there is the 47mm Insta underwater use rifle dove launcher. This weapon is primarily used in cruising mode. It fires sharp harpoons with intense rotation, characterized by its high straight line stability. In the TV anime, there are scenes where it is fired at the flying Archangel. However, compared to the other weapons, this weapon is not very powerful. There are scenes where it hits the Archangel directly, but no depictions of the ship significantly shaking or the armor breaking. Also, the Soul Strike Gundam defense with its shield shakes off the impact with a swing of its arm, and immediately counterattacks. It seems not very effective against new types of weapons. However, it could be a terrifying weapon against submarines, where even slight damage can lead to collapse due to water pressure. The bullets fired do not have a propulsion system, which might make them less likely to be detected by heat-seeking radar. Lastly, there is the 1030mm Insta Mark 70 supercoated torpedo. This weapon, in fact, does not have a depicted scene of it in action. It is a large torpedo equipped on both sides of the mobile suit. It is fired once the orange cover opens by enveloping the torpedo surface with air bubbles. It controls water resistance and approaches the enemy at extremely high speeds. It's a weapon that can hit the enemy before they detect the torpedo with sonar. The fact that it is nearly twice the size of the torpedoes equipped on the arms and is capable of high-speed travel makes it feel like a powerful weapon. Although it's from a different series, the Gundam appearing in Hathaway's Flash also utilizes a similar system. Gundam is a Gundam that adjusts air resistance by covering the surface of the machine with a beam barrier enabling supersonic flight. This is similar to the GOOHN's torpedo adjusting water resistance by covering the torpedo surface with air. It's an interesting similarity between the supporting GOOHN and the main character Gundam. So, how did the GOOHN stand out before the story of Kira Yamato and his friends began? The GOOHN inflicted significant damage on the Earth Alliance forces and was feared. However, with the deployment of the Strike Gundam, it became a relic of the past. Against the moving battleship Archangel, a mobile suit unit commanded by Marco Morosim launches an attack. Morosim first executes an attack with the Ding, drawing the attention of the Archangel to the sky. Soon, the GOOHN unit raids the Archangel. They execute a torpedo attack, but it is evaded. However, this evasion was a close call. The fact that even the state-of-the-art battleship Archangel narrowly avoided it means that an older battleship would likely have been destroyed at this point. In this battle, the GOOHN is destroyed by the Strike Gundam. The GOOHN, lacking close combat equipment, charges at the Strike Gundam, but fails to inflict a fatal blow. On the contrary, the Strike Gundam's armor neither penetrates the GOOHN's armor, leading to its destruction by water pressure. Another GOOHN is also destroyed by the Strike Gundam, being grappled by the Strike Gundam, and lacking close combat weapons was a major cause of defeat. The GOOHN continued to play a role as a supporting mobile suit. It was not particularly adept at walking and wasn't suited for ground combat. While it could navigate underwater at overwhelming speeds, it was easily destroyed on land. Why then did it have to engage in ground combat, which it was not good at? There is a reason for this. The Zaft forces are overwhelmingly outnumbered compared to the Earth Alliance. Therefore, during operations like the attack on the Earth Alliance's Alaska base, they had to deploy all available forces to the front lines. Thus, even in situations where the GOOHN should have retreated after breaching coastal defense forces, leaving ground mobile suits like the GOOHN to attack, it had to continue advancing. A similar phenomenon occurs with the Zobuto. It is skilled in providing support through artillery fire from behind. However, advancing to the front lines results in its destruction. There are scenes where the Baku appears after the Zobuto is destroyed. But ideally, the Baku, designed for front-line combat, should be supported from behind by the Zobuto. Thus, the GOOHN and Zobuto, swayed by the circumstances of Zaft's military strength, often end up being destroyed. In Sea Destiny, the GOOHN continues to play an active role. In the Indian Ocean battle, the GOOHN joins the combat alongside the battleship maneuver. However, in the battle against the Abyss Gundam, it is instantly annihilated due to the overwhelming difference in performance. The GOOHN, originally designed to fight the Earth Alliance's older models, faced a hopeless power gap against the state-of-the-art second stage model Abyss Gundam. Winning against the Abyss Gundam, a special model disregarding mass production with features like the valuable phase shift armor, was impossible. However, there are also scenes where the GOOHN plays a significant role. This is slightly touched upon in the earlier weapon explanation. During the Heaven's Base assault, the GOOhN in coordination with its successor, the Zono manages to destroy the Forbidden Vortex. Against the Forbidden Vortex, which adopted Trans-Space armor, the GOOhn's torpedoes are mostly ineffective. The only hope is the Gundam laser cannon. However, the GOOhn's Gundam laser cannon is fixed to the mobile suit, making angle adjustment for firing difficult as the GOOhN executes torpedo attacks. While they don't damage the armor directly, they can disrupt the enemy's posture through the blast. Immediately following the GOOhn's attack, the Zono coordinates and fires the Gundam laser cannon. The Forbidden Vortex is destroyed with its cockpit penetrated. Through coordination with allies, the GOOhN achieved a great feat by destroying a Gundam. Did you enjoy the commentary on the GOOhN? It has a very interesting relative. That mobile suit is called GOOhN. It's a GOOhN that has acquired the ability to dig through the ground by applying the technology called scale mortar, used on Zaft's ground battleships like the Lips. Just like the prototype GOOhN, it also has the ability to navigate underwater. And during the Orb invasion, it invaded Orb from the seabed. Although not a military commander, it destroyed the shelter where Netwima Cyan, an important figure in Orb, was holed up, and even made a direct assault on Orb's defense headquarters. It was eventually defeated by Kagali, but looking at its military achievements, it's clear that it was quite an effective mobile suit. However, to invade underground, it's necessary to survey the underground conditions beforehand, so the battlefields where it can be deployed are limited. Analyzing from such elements, it becomes clear that Zaft had secured information about the ground around Orb's defense headquarters. In the novel version, Gilbert Duano is said to have highly appraised Kagali, stating that the only politicians were his Marshal Laos and Kagali. Through the activities of GOOhN, we could reaffirm the thoroughness and dreadfulness of Chairman Duano. While he was having a friendly conversation with Kagali in the early stages of Sea Destiny, he was definitely preparing to eliminate Kagali. This concludes our commentary for the day. Surely you must have thought about wanting to board the GOOhN. Well, good news! You are given the opportunity to solely aboard the GOOhN. By pressing the subscribe button, you can participate in battles against the Earth Alliance's battleships. Pressing the like button gives you the opportunity to battle against the Earth Alliance's latest mobile suit, the Stry Gundam, and earn a prestigious medal. Hit the bell button and participate in the Heaven's Base capture battle. The enemies are mainly the latest mobile suits, but with your courage and passion, you will surely be able to win. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next episode.